keeping an eye out. Yes.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever conceived a hollow-born child?
I don't make babies. He appraises you of a half-moon spectacles and scratches his chin. That's a rather personal question.
And an important one nevertheless. Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radrick's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
You said something about Hollowborn and Waywind's legacy before? He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. But children are born without souls. I mean, souls are not real. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Waywind's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Redrick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart, he nods. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. Shouldn't be too open about what you just experienced. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with a beerwick. We said before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mentioned that. Trespassing on Engwithan ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Berath have mercy. We certainly have. Yeah, there's people hanging on the tree. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a beerwick. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a beerwick, you wouldn't be standing here. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with a beerwick. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Raderick, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last. 3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urget looks out toward the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to you.
3 bells tolled only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face, and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. Don't threaten me, little man. He shakes his head, unmoved. It is no threat, only a warning. Lord Raderick will tolerate no threats to his kin, or those who live upon his lands. Grief will not make him more docile. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you get some rest, the inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Berath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. Visions and whispers. Is that him? Oh, he's still here.
Well,
Urget. Urget wears a twisted frown. I'm afraid I still can't help you find residence here. Lord Redrick's son was deemed a Hollowborn. This makes circumstances even more fraught than before. Tell me about Lord Redrick. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since Adair times. Redrick II was an early supporter of their Wooden independence during the Revolution, and the current lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in Deerwood shortly after the war's end. Lord Redrick has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe but necessary. Unfortunately, it may not have been enough, if the bells were any indication. The Saints' War? Our age's most egregious example of man's madness 15 years ago. The people of Red Ceres decided that Waidwen, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. Urget wrinkles his pinched nose. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Deerwood, supposedly from allegiance to less worthy gods. But I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess that what that year did to worship of Eothas in Deerwood. Lord Redrick's forebears had all been Eothasians, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, He personally saw that the temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It is important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. I'd like to know about Gilded Vale. We're a frontier village, as are most settlements in Deerwood. Gilded Vale hasn't grown much since its establishment in the colonial days, and the last 15 years have seen our population shrink further. It takes in the ramshackle houses and half-fallen fences. Hence our recruitment of fresh settlers. Why has Gilded Vale's population been shrinking? Waidwin's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Redrick decreed that no mothers of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gilded Vale. His mouth tightens into a firm line. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. It may be harsh, but if it purges us of this curse, is it not worth it? Tell me about those ruins behind the tree. That's what's left of the Temple of Eothas. His lips pucker. Lord Redrick forbade worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate it to Berath, the god of life and death. You'll get to know more of the town well enough as you explore, I'm sure. Move along. Gosh, are you mad? Leave it for the indoors. What if it's not the baby? Maybe Kolsk managed to. You'd think these rains would be a boon for the crops. Careful if you head east. Guards patrol the eastern wood, but not the Black Meadow. I heard they fended off another attack on Lord Redrick's keep. Oh, that's the temple. Okay. I said that I can loot the corpse of this lady. Where is she? I can't loot her. Scattered between roots are bracelets of twine and bead. Wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rains.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? That I could introduce you.
Looking for anyone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Welcome to our lovely village. Theophalion. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of his man's souls. Voices from its past seem to call to you. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder, deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over 3 stars. Hello, who's there? A man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeves soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain. Have a care if you mean to go in. He casts a quick look towards the doorway to his left. This place is not so empty as I thought. This temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are, he groans and shifts position, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either. Just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you wearily. Maybe you'd have better luck. Better luck with what? The man points a finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eothas, the scattered god, a grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over Deerwood, from Red Ceres even. Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones, the ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Go on. Once the legacy started, Lord Redrick decided he'd been too lenient on the Euthasians. He had his people go in and put them to the sword, left them down there buried under a heap of rock. After that, Redrick ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that up until recently. Lord Redrick hopes that if we dedicate the temple to a living god, then we'll be forgiven and the legacy will end. See, he smiles brightly. But until then, the temple is as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. Wharton licks his lips. Those priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them. But they still didn't deserve to go like that, chopped down in their god's house. It doesn't sit right with me. If you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. Wharton breathes out. No small task. There's a coin in it for you if you need motivating. I have some questions first. Yes. Why can't you do this by yourself? Well, I tried, only I got a short ways in before I got in over my head, Wharton grimaces. I haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again, but you look like you can handle yourself. Who are you, anyway? Wharton offers a weak grin. Name's Wharton. I've lived in Gilded Vale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs and looks away. I used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Won't Lord Redrick mind us digging around down here? Down there. I wouldn't go telling him about it, lingering in these places. It's no good for anyone. But you do this quick and quiet, and we can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. Any chance there's something down there worth a little more than some old bones? Wharton looks around. Probably. Nobody's been through the place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me, and I didn't touch anything. Any valuables in there, you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. They're long dead. What does it matter where they're buried? It's about respect, isn't it? About deserving to be remembered, not just tossed under a pile of rock and forgotten. He breathes out shakily. I thought it worth the effort, giving that to them. Wait, you want me to bring you some skeletons? I'd bury them where they are if I could. I know it's a little macabre, but if we don't get them out now, Redrick's liable to destroy whatever's left of them. I'll take it you aren't supposed to be in here? Wharton laughs bleakly. Well, I meant to be in and out nice and quick. I'm not hurting anyone. It's just Lord Redrick's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It'll be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause, though, isn't it? And you could make some coin in the process. I'll find them. Then by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long. It's crawling with creatures. But if you get past them, the priest would have been down on the lower floor. They'll be there still, if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kind of secret chambers, switches in the walls, tricks, sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out, and take care down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. Buried secrets.
Good day to you.
Wharton nods at you in greeting, cradling his injured arm. You've returned. Find anything? I'm still exploring the upper level. No sign of anything yet. Well, keep at it. I figured they're down there in the lower reaches for certain. I'll be here. I don't think we should go in there alone. It's like a dungeon. There's a child here. This is going to be Barrett's house now.
A blade in the dark.
Tuatanu is one of the best smiths in Durwood, but his stock's been lousy lately. Tuatanu. Did you hear the bells? Bad news, I think. Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust husk. Poor Afra is so worried about her child. I don't blame her. Hugo and Ronin Teronian. You see a group of people standing around a wagon, transfixed on a sword as it swings in a large, graceful arc. This man holds the sword, passing it from hand to hand with a relaxed ease, making the blade dance in front of his audience. He tosses it into the air, spins, then puts his arms around his back to catch it. The crowd claps excitedly, and a couple of them gasp, certain that they were about to see a tragedy. You see a room, bright, warm, covered in greenery. There isn't a spot in the entire space that doesn't have some kind of plant growing in it. Small germinating seeds in the corner here, large sprawling vines climbing the walls there. Although most of the plants are actually in some kind of container, there are a few that have grown from the dirt floor itself. They are just as lovingly cared for as anything else in the room. This man wanders through the plants, smiling at each and every one, an old pipe clenched between his teeth. Stopping next to one, he touches the leaf, lifting it up and to look at the underside, then gently rubs it between his fingers. He takes a small handful of the soil it grows in, and crushes it with his fingers. Satisfied, he drops the soil back into the pot and continues to the next plant. He hums a low, cheery tune as he moves along the plants, occasionally stopping to sing a few words of something to one of them. Finally, he reaches the door. Having visited every plant in the room, he turns back to look at them, a look of serene pleasure on his face. Then he turns back and is gone. So if it's like, this is something different, like when you talk to this guy. No, it's just the same thing. Vibrant history containing the essence. I think it says vibrant history here too. Careful if you add ease. Okay, I think we heard that before. Do you think these rains would be a boon for the crops? Yeah. That one too. Despite the rains, the stalk feels as dry and stiff as a locust husk. The windmill is not spinning. He used to have a lot more fortune tellers come through. Lord Redrick had us chase them off.
Yes.
Can't interact with the cow. Black Hammer Smithery. Oh, that would be stealing. It's red. If I work a few extra shifts at the inn, I can get one of those daggers. Lord Redrick himself looks at this smithy for supplies. Don't tell Tuatanu, but I think Dunstan over in the first fires might have the edge on him. The bellows sighs into the furnace, and the coals burn brighter still. Daily affirmation of focus and efficiency. This is not considered stealing. 16 coin. Copper. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abaddon rebuilt himself from ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, so long as the soul is dedicated to the task. Work hard, work well. Abaddon demands only honest labor and forthright service. All errors can be reforged if your first attentions are pure. All ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft. Excel at what you have been trusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. Each generation must forge its successors. Teach your trade to all who are willing to learn, and in doing so, multiply the fruits of your knowledge. All difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Meet strife with humility and acceptance. Let adversity temper the ingot of your will, and you will never shatter. Embrace your station, fulfill the duties of your rank, and meddle not in the affairs of your betters. All guilds fail at their weakest link. All loss can be reforged into strength. Profitable work heals all emptiness. So long as you have the tools of your trade, you will always be able to forge wealth anew. Value the works of others, and they will value your works in return. Share the harvest with the hungry, and your tools with the destitute. All souls can be reforged into whatever we will. Hard work is not exclusive to life. Death is no time for complacency. Commit yourself to the excellence in this cycle and the next. Okay. There's value in that, so it's not considered stealing when it's a book. Dugan Steel Collar. You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking Zarevs. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatants as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the Zarevs that surround them. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Zarevs suddenly explodes as the 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attack the remaining enemies. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings it at the Zarev. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone. A series of untamed shrubs, all that hides him from the vision ahead. His eyes locked on a Dalamgan, beautiful and terrible, eyes half lidded as she hums. The bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is in trance. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The Dalamgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. She does not speak as he approaches. His mouth is dripping sound of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side and begins to hiss. fingers suddenly claws and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone. The only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless and begins to chant. But the words of magical language of his own imagining, scribble in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there is something there, you do not see it. So they're both like chanters. This Omawa man is an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is dusky blue of the deeper ocean. See, they never describe the scales, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be. But we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now and haven't seen a sign of it. Have you expect they were hit by bandits? The road out east crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe, to make some coin. Tautanu snorts, as if that lot would dare. Tautanu scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you can keep an eye out for a supply wagon, or my shipment at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Redrick. Tautanu glances at the nearby guard, and that's as it should be, but it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. I'll find you supplies. Tautanu nods. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount to start? Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up and they can take up farming instead.
Greetings.
Well, we got plenty to sell, actually. How do you sell? Control. Ooh. Oh, you just click on them. Yeah, I don't have any need for any of these. 140, that's pretty good. Deflection. I was about ready to buy one, but it's like 2,000 freaking gold, copper, so. Lordy be. You can be my fortune, daddy, why go? Same blues has been getting. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door, gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Sweenor. Sweener? Sweener. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices. Or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Against the grain. Oh, can I? I can't talk to them. It's funny how we're able to easily open the door. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Sweener roping foreigners into his little crusade now? My name is Ingraith. I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and Sweener thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Who's Sweener? Is this who's a Sweener or who's Sweener? The dwarf, the one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades, and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. What was all the ruckus outside? Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Sweener's whipped him up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. Party gains 25 experience. It's only me. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for sale, and Sweener has his lot. Sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields onto the way into town, the crops blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers. It's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I barely got enough good grain to go around. Sweener's howling after things he has no right to. Maybe I ought to have a talk with Sweener then. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it if you can convince him. Okay, that was Trumbull. A rancid stench rises from this grain. It's mushy and mottled with green. Oh, stealing. I'm sure Father can explain better just what happened here. My father's a good man. He's always done the right by the town.
Welcome.
Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. Trumbull frowns. It's not. He pauses. Look, Sweener's always been a rotten bastard, with stores so limited. Maybe I save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Afra, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? Did the villagers know about the grain supply? Trumbull looks embarrassed. Some. The innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough. If we can just keep things calm until then, we'll be in the clear. The innkeeper. Trumbull winces. I wouldn't drink the ale, is all I'm saying. I have no more questions.
Hello?
No, is that door open? No. Maybe we need to visit the inn first. What is this? Poor Afra is so worried about her child. I don't blame her. You used to have a lot more fortune tellers coming through. Okay, I'm forget that. Zlox the usurper and Clink.
Yes.
You see a small group of people gathered around the ruins of a house. The destruction continues out from the single dwelling, through the entire village. Not a single building still stands. Rubble is scattered everywhere. One of the men in the group leans over something in the debris. It is this man, younger, barely more than a boy. The man reaches out and shakes the boy by the shoulder. The boy makes no sound and doesn't respond to the man's disturbance. The man looks up at the other members of the group and shrugs, standing to rejoin his friends. The boy suddenly sits up, eyes wide. He scrabbles backward, away from the group, looking around in horror. The group moves toward him in unison, eliciting a yelp from the boy, who tries to move farther away. A woman in the group puts out her hands, stopping the rest. She turns to them reproachfully, motions for them to stay, then looks at the boy on the ground, who is trying to push himself through what remains of a wall. He seems unaware he has even stopped. The woman slowly moves toward the boy, hands out, speaking in a low, calming tone. For a time, the boy doesn't even hear. He just closes his eyes and embraces himself against the wall, expecting violence. Eventually, the woman's words work through the fear, and he hears her. He opens his tear-filled eyes and stares at her. She holds out a hand to him. He looks at it, seemingly confused by the offer, then hesitantly reaches out. She takes his hand in hers and leans down to help him stand. You see a lone man standing in a field. He looks around, surveying the crops. Occasionally, he bends to examine a leaf up close. He is intent on what he is doing, completely absorbed in his work. The man approaches him from behind. He moves slowly, but does nothing to mask his approach. In his hand, he holds a large sword. There appears to be no malice or hatred in the man's demeanor. He almost seems pleased. The first man hears his approach and stands, turning away from the plant was inspecting. His face breaks into a smile and he opens his arms to welcome the approaching man. The smile freezes into a grimace as the second man thrusts his sword through his stomach, its blade now protruding from his back. His arms slowly fall to his side and blood starts to drip from the sword onto the plants below the men. As the first man crumples to his knees, the second pulls the sword out, a tear slowly falling down the cheek of his still smiling face. So he got betrayed by somebody that he thought was there for him. In a previous life, I guess. This one dog-eared book is titled Travels Upon the Silk Glass Sea. There is an etched illustration of a vast fin leviathan. Oh, is there like a I thought there was some kind of tooltip delay. What about tooltip fade? There's no tooltip fade. A dear wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Hail, traveler.
Well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes a startled noise once she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help? Who are you expecting? My sister, Kalisha, is traveling with one of the caravans. She sent a letter before she came. Said she was going to pay her way by working as a guard for the caravan master. She always was a tough one. She pauses. I don't suppose you've seen her on the road, or the caravan, perhaps? It's Master Obama's. The caravan was attacked, and we escaped, but Kalisha was caught in a bivouac. Afra covers her mouth with her hand and eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I knew. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kalisha was always so certain she could take on any danger. Afra sniffs. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Afra's face crumples, and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. Why did you send for Kalisha? Afra wipes at her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisha as much as I could. All I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Redrick, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor, she sniffs. With my Hathort gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. I hoped Kalisha could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent the child from being hollow-born. But she moved south to Anslag Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else now with Kalisha gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? That's a long ways to go. What's in this for me? I can only offer you coin, but Ranga has many potions and crafts for sale. Maybe you'll find something of interest? So it wouldn't be a wasted trip? She sniffs. I'm sorry, I don't have much. You're welcome to some of my food if you want. I have some fruit. She gave me a fruit. I'll find Ranga for you. Afra blinks, eyes wide. You will? Oh, gods bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of... Well, I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. 20 copper. Anslog's compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. She clasped her hands together. Thanks again, truly. You'll be saving us both. She sets a hand on her stomach, smiling through her tears. A mother's plea. You know, she says she doesn't have much, and I can help myself with anything in the house, but I think it's still showing that this would be stealing. What's over here? Feels like we've been seeing more bandits along the roads lately. And then I told her, that's not the pistol. What? This ale tastes funny to you. You think she'll say yes? She's mad enough to lie with you. Why not wed you while she's at it? I bet they have better Golrot chew in the city. Oh, now they're just talking about random shit. The city's where Kith go for Svev, not Golrot. Did you hear the bells? Bad news, I think. Therefore, then, oh, they're still talking. And then I told, okay, now they go back to touching the pistol. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggests an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Say nothing. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. You've got a lot of gall mocking us in our own village. We don't take ill treatment from foreigners, especially not Adrians.
Go on, say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
The second man thrusts his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour ale.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksmither!
I'll cut that barrel-looking tongue out of your head.
A collective cry of outrage rises from the 3 locals. The second man snarls.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said.
Horror.
Midnight
Horror and shock paint themselves across the elven man's face in broad, hasty strokes. He plants his feet. Something surly and raw flickers through his eyes. He has like split personality.
That's where you're wrong.
This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be inside drinking than out here arguing? We don't want your charity either, foreigner. They squint at you through red, bleary eyes. It sounds suspiciously like they're defending him. You sure you want to mess with me? Up. Dang, they all got killed. Like, violently. Nothing left but chunks of meat. At last, as the last of the attackers fall, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You mean for slaughtering them? You're welcome.
Well, that is one way of putting it.
He gives you a quick smile. He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery of his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. How off course, sir? At your service.
You'd better have more to say for yourself than that. He holds up his hands. Please, I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Griffin Ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Aloth goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
What are you doing in Gilder Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And you? I think it's just generally like you said, I'm also a settler.
Indeed. In that case, welcome to Gilded Vale, a true refuge from civilization.
Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. That. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints. And the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief. But before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
I should get
How should
going.
I, given recent events? It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Dang, they dropped quite a bit of shit. Look at their... Oh,
Of course.
disappear. Alright, I'm gonna stop here. Alright, I'm gonna check my stream, make sure everything looks good. And I'm back streaming here on YouTube. It doesn't give me an error anymore though, that's good.
See